Hello, beautiful people. My name is Breckley, and I am here to talk about more things. So today's video is all about forgiveness, as you can see by the title. And forgiveness can be kind of a touchy subject for some people because there are a lot of people who think that it's like not worth it. Maybe you're one of those people, maybe you're not. Let me know down below how you feel about forgiveness before watching the video. We'll see if I can change any perspectives here. Maybe not. And that's totally fine. It is up to you who you want to forgive, how you're gonna do it. And I'm just kind of here to give some insight. I guess that's kind of all. I have recently realized, not too recently, because I've been in the practice of forgiving people for my whole life. I don't think I've ever had like a grudge that I've held for very long. I'm not very good at that, which I find is a good trait, but it depends on where your heart is and who you are, obviously. Forgiveness is the key to success every once in a while. It's hard because forgiveness can be good for others, for you to forgive people. Like that can be a really big thing for a lot of people, in like relationships, let's say, or friendships. It can be really beneficial if you forgive your friend for like punching you in the face one time when they were drunk or something like that, you know what I mean? Like that can help them move on from the situation just as easily as you. But that's not really the point of this video. I just thought I would point that out. How to forgive. This is quite a question. It's up to each person to decide how forgiveness is going to come into play. But I know that for me, it always has just been like something that's inside of my head. Oftentimes verbal, where like I'm telling them like, hey, I forgive you for blah, 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 like because they're apologizing, you know what I mean? But sometimes it's hard because sort of like the cycle of grief sometimes has to come into play. Especially if it was like a traumatic experience. I know that for trauma, we have to grieve. We have to grieve for ourselves, for, you know, the person who we were before and the person we are going to become now that this has happened. And a lot of times it's like we get stuck into this rut of the grieving cycle with that, and we get stuck with that anger or you go through them all the time. You go through like the denial and the anger and then the forgiveness and then the acceptance or whatever. And that's the most important part, I think, is acceptance of the situation for what happened as it is, acknowledgement that, yes, this happened. And maybe these things cause negativity in your life. Maybe it was a trauma. Maybe something really, really terrible happened to you when you were younger or when you were older and you don't really know how to deal with these things now. And you're starting to have to deal with them because of XYZ, right? But acknowledging that negativity was brought into your life is going to open doors. Because I know that a lot of people like to just forget about things. I'm really good at this, okay? I'm like really fantastic at like forgetting things that were horrible that happened. Or things that I did, especially actually. Something like I told my friend that I was done hanging out with them and that it was like over and I didn't want their friendship anymore. And it was for this reason, right? And then later on down the line, I text them, I'm like, hey, what's up? And they're like, oh, I thought you hated me because of this reason. And I was like, oh, I don't hate you. But I just blocked it out because it was something that I didn't want to deal with at the time. So if that ever happens to you, acknowledgement is going to be your first step, and accepting that is going to be your first step. That yes, I did this, or they did this to me, this happened. This happened. That's going to be the key to that one, is this happened, yes it did. Once you do that, you will realize that whatever it was that happened, that you perceived as like this negative situation, right? That was meant to happen. Okay, I just want you to know that yes, it is hard to deal with, and it's something that maybe nobody should have to deal with ever, but this changed your life in so many positive ways. These experiences are your highest self. I heard this metaphor from my friend Trevor. If you want to follow Trevor, I'm going to talk about him more, but your highest self has a really good vantage point. So say like your life is like this mountainous range, right? It's got valleys, it's got hills, it's got uphills, downhills, all the things. And you can't see, up this ridge, let's say, or what's beyond that. But your highest self does. They have a better vantage point. They can see from up here while you're over here struggling doing whatever it is that you're doing, right? And you're thinking like, oh no, I'm not on my right path. I'm not where I need to be. I'm not succeeding and finding my purpose. Yes, you are. Your highest self is here. They have a vantage point. And although you feel very low, this is going to bring you to the highest highs and the most beautiful peaks with the most beautiful views. And you're going to see amazing, incredible things at the end of it. And you're going to be like, oh, wow, I had no idea that this was going to be at the end. And if you've ever experienced like trauma of any kind, I think you already know this, is like, yes, it's really terrible and you're in a horrible place right now, but look at where that's going to get you. Because like, I know for me, in my last couple of videos, I talked about my eating disorder and how that shaped my life in so many ways. And it wasn't necessarily like a negative or a positive thing for me now anyway, like looking back on it. It wasn't negative, it wasn't positive, it was just something that was happening. And it was happening and it was just like a part of my experience as a human. And that's huge. It's huge to realize that our experiences are important for the next steps. So you're always on your right path. I want you to remember that. So back to forgiveness. Maybe you can't forgive this person for whatever reason. Maybe they did something really horrible to you. You can't forgive them in your heart. It just doesn't seem right, you know? That's okay. That's okay to feel that way and to acknowledge that those feelings are there as well is going to be big for you. I will link a trauma meditation here, wherever it is going to pop up in the description. I will put it. It's a trauma meditation that is like 30 minutes long. If you have any time in your day, 30 minutes, it's not going to take very long at all. It was huge for me. It was ginormica for me. I got rid of I shed a lot of negativity about like sexual trauma that I experienced. I was able to shed a lot of it. And I'll make a video about that as well. I'll make a whole other video. But in that video, it talks about forgiving yourself. And although maybe you don't have the capacity to forgive that person for doing said thing to you, you can at least forgive yourself for allowing it to cling to you, for allowing the negativity to attach and to be with you. And once you acknowledge, okay, yes, this negativity follows me around and I don't want it anymore, then you'll be able to put it to a place in your mind where you can release it and you can accept that it happened. That's the first step, acceptance. And then you can release that and you can move on. And if it needs to come back at any time, that's okay. But it's in that part of your mind that's protected and that you're okay. So yeah, I kind of have built, and I've always had that, but I've built a wall like inside of my mind, like a place where I can go if I'm not feeling safe. It's my safe place in my head. And I think everybody should have that. If you don't have that, I'll have another video on how you can do that. But you deserve better, okay? You deserve better than to feel the way that you feel about the situation that happened. You deserve forgiveness and love and kindness and acceptance. That's a very big one. Acceptance, guys. Accept that these things happened and allow that to leave your mind. And maybe not permanently, because maybe you'll learn from that experience later on. It was here for a reason. It happened for a reason. And you're not doomed and you're not in a bad spot. You are in exactly the spot that you need to be in to move forward and to progress with your life. And you can do that. You can allow yourself to do that. And that's another thing that self-forgiveness is about, is like allowing yourself to move on, allowing this guilt to be let off of you and to go elsewhere. Like, get this guilt away, because you don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. This thing happened and it was terrible and you already experienced that. You don't need to keep experiencing horrible emotions because of this thing that happened to you. You can accept things and you can move forward. I promise you can. Yeah. I guess that's kind of the end of this video. That was another kind of short one, but that was just one topic, just forgiveness. And I think I'm going to keep doing videos like this so I don't get burnt out. Because as you guys maybe saw on my Instagram, my whole goal for doing videos every Monday is like, I don't know about that. I'm going to still try, obviously. And I'm going to make videos whenever I can, whenever it feels right. And usually it does feel right. And I just need to remember that and just to focus and keep my energy up. Your word is your wand. Yeah. That was the end of like the forgiveness part. So if you only came here to talk about forgiveness, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Subscribe, comment down below, let me know how you liked it. For those of you who live in Utah, I know that I'm like starting to get a couple of followers that I'm not exactly sure where you guys are from, but if you are living in Utah, I attended my first Meditation Monday yesterday. I'm filming this on Tuesday because I really needed it. I really needed something. I needed a meditation really bad. I was meditating like all day on Monday, and I just still was. I had so much going on in my head. It was like just like a cloud of blah, and I wasn't being conscious. I was totally anxious. I was sad. It was just a lot. I released so much energy, so much negativity at this meditation, and there was tea, which I love tea, so I was really excited about that. And I was just really, really, really happy afterwards, and I felt like I had remembered my divine path and that I'm on it, you know, and that this is a part of that. This is a really big part of that. I don't know. You don't know how good this feels to like even just talk about this stuff, because it's amazing for me. This is like therapeutic for me, so I'm totally here for it, and I love talking, obviously. But I appreciate you guys being here, and I appreciate you watching, and I really hope that I will see you in the next video on Monday. I'm gonna try to keep myself accountable, but I just thought that I would talk about Trevor really fast and how much I appreciate him, because he totally sent me on a spiral. I've been on a healing journey all 2020. I've been on an eye-opening quest for this whole year, and it has just been getting more and more open and like insane. You and I, my friend, we're one. We're together. You're me, I'm you, okay? And there's nothing that I can't forgive you for. There's nothing that you can't forgive you for. And that is what this video was all about. So, I appreciate and love you all so, so, so much. Thank you so much for being here with me. I don't know if you can tell, but I am having like an amazing day. And I plan on having another amazing week. And I will see you guys back here in the next video. I appreciate y'all. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Comment, like, do all the things. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Bye.